Somebody forgot to plug the 4430 in yesterday, which means it was a cold start today. It's only 35 degrees right now. It's kind of going to be a weird day on the farm if I could just give you my daily weather report. It is supposed to be 30 to 35 degrees today. It's supposed to start raining and then it'll transition to ice and then maybe snow. So it'll be a little unique, let's put it that way. We've got a plan today, and the plan is to get this chicken brooder area cleaned up and ready for chicks. I don't know if it'll all happen today, but it needs to get started. I've got the tractor started up so we can start digging out the bedding and all the stuff that's in here. Taking this out is a little more tedious. It means getting it up on end, sliding it out this door, and dragging it away with the tractor. I've done it before, so I'm pretty sure I can do it again. There's just a lot of stuff that needs to come down or out or be thrown away, so let's get started. Let me give you the lay of the land real quick. This is the other half of our rabbit shed. So on the other side of that wall over there, that's where the rabbits live. It is kind of a mess, let's just put it that way. This at various times has had 2 of these brooders in it, so you just had a little hallway down the middle, a brooder over there and a brooder over here. At other times we've had rabbit cages all along here for rabbit overflow. We've basically raised egg layers in here and let them just go out the front, kind of like a stationary egg layer barn. And right now it has kind of just become a storage area. We had chicks in it way back in the spring, another batch later in the year, and that was about it. We had rabbits in it at different times of the year, and now we've got a ton of chicken rabbit things stored up there. And to top it all off, we have the world's most electrical fire looking thing as far as our electrical cords go hanging from the top. There's a little bit of work ahead of us, but I don't think it'll be too bad. I just wanted to give you a lay of the land. Now let's dig in. I got the majority of the bedding off the floor. I'm gonna have the kids come in and sweep it out. I've got a full bucket in the tractor, that is for sure. A big full bucket of compost. That's gonna go onto the compost pile. Let me go dump this load real quick. Alright, I've got all the serious cleaning that I can do so far. Once I get this brooder out, then I'll be able to kind of come through and sweep out a little bit more. But I'm going to be completely honest, this is the trickiest part right now. This 4-foot by 8-foot heavily built brooder needs to become vertical and slide out that door. I do have handles on it. I remember putting handles on it. Getting it vertical is going to be the trickiest thing. And then we can use the tractor to slide it out the door. I don't know if you can tell this, but I've got the brooder standing up. I'm stuck behind it though. It is in front of the door. It's always fun. I think let's move it this way. Look at that, that was pretty easy. It's like I had planned it. I love it when a plan comes together. The more I work on this shed and get everything cleaned out, the more I realize that it is not an ideal situation for raising chicks. Not just because it's February or will be February when I get the chicks, but because it's just not an ideal building. Let me hop in and show you what I mean. When it comes to our farm, we are small potatoes, to say the least. And when it comes to chickens on our farm, we are even smaller baby potatoes. We just don't raise a lot of chickens, and honestly, we won't be able to raise a lot of chickens. I just came and brought my tape measure out. The area that they're gonna have in here is 9 by 12. That is not a huge brooder, but also I'm never gonna really be able to do batches larger than 300 or so, because that's what my processing limitation is, 300 chickens at a time. I know there are a lot of big farms out there, like Jordan Green's farm is one that I know of, that they use shipping containers for their brooders, and that would be ideal. This old wooden, granary here. This was built to hold corn or beans or oats. It is difficult to wash out. The way that we have this set, and no matter how you would have it set, because it's on skids, there is air underneath, which means there's cold air underneath this time of year. But because I can't raise 5,000 or 10,000 chickens a year in order to justify that expense, I kind of have to go with what we've got, and this is what we've got. One big area that I need to shore up is these bottom areas of the wall here. This granary, when it was originally built, just had this kind of tongue and groove batten board sides on it, which were great. We did reside the outside with steel, so a lot of those drafts are covered up, but I want to make sure that we don't have any drafts, especially down low where the chicks are going to be. So I've got a bunch of scrap plywood left over from... What is my scrap plywood? Oh, I've got a bunch of scrap plywood left over from building the shelves in the shed. So I think I'm going to bring that out here. I do see some gaps up here like this. Those I might just kind of hit with some spray foam and fill those gaps in and just make sure that the bottom is buttoned up as tight as possible. Let's get started on that. We need to get this project done. Today is Saturday. I believe the chicks will show up sometime between Wednesday and Friday. That's going to be soon. I'm not going all crazy putting these boards up on the sidewalls here. I'm basically just screwing them across the top and then toe nailing, or I guess it would be toe screwing them in on the bottom, because I am not sure that I'm going to leave these up all the time. As I was working on this, kind of my brain is turning and I'm thinking, what if I put insulation in the walls here and I put somewhat of a plastic wall or some sort of composite board on the sides of this so that I could wash it out? I don't know what I would do with the floor, but if I could spray it down with a hose, that would help a lot when you switch batches and bring a new batch in. I've got a little bit of cutting to do and a few more boards to put up, but it is also lunchtime, so I think it's time for lunch. It seems like whenever I go in for lunch or go run an errand and then come back out, it starts getting nasty, and that's what's happening right now. It's starting to sprinkle or mist, I guess I should say. And what they're saying is going to happen is that it's going to rain a little bit, and then it's going to turn to ice a little bit, and then it's going to turn to snow a little bit. Just a all around generally nice day. So I'm going to go put the tractor away, grab some plywood. I'll tell you what my next plan is. The last board is in, so now we have a draft-free area, hopefully, around the bottom of the brooder. It wasn't a thing that I was 100% sure that I needed to do, but it was something that I was 100% sure that I wanted to do. I did leave these two parallel boards right here. These were here because we had rabbit cages set on them. I remembered as I was cleaning up in here that one year I had put some styrofoam on top of this and hung lamps underneath it. That way there was another area where the chickens could go in and the heat would maybe stay a little more in. Starting chicks at the very beginning of February in Iowa, it's a little, I don't know if it's risky, but it does take a little more planning and a little more care. And so I'm trying to do as many things as I can to make sure that everything goes as well as it possibly can. We're gonna start taking down stuff from my little loft up here. We have a lot of chicken stuff up there, so we're gonna get some feeders and waters down. That way, when we get the wood shavings, everything's ready to go. This is a good little chicken brooder here. With all the feeders and what waters we had up in the loft, out of the loft, it is time to worry about the electrical. And I'll be completely honest, the electrical is a mess. As you can see, I am plugging extension cords into extension cords and running extension cords, and this whole shed is run off of an extension cord. I'm embarrassed by this. There is really no solution though. I will tell you this though. I'm going to use this as an impetus, as a reason to get a better generator for the farm. We have a generator on the farm, but it is not a good generator. But I want to have a backup generator so that if the power goes out, in here we have a generator that we can run, just a good, reliable, small generator, which is something I wanted to get for the farmer's market anyways, because eventually I'd like to move to freezers at the farmer's market, at least part of my thing, having freezers at the farmer's market. Now we just need to start going through and testing all the lamps. I don't know if you can tell, but we've got a ton of lamps because I haven't been in my lean farm mode and I had lamps all over the place instead of one place. And so when I can't find one, I just go buy another one, which has led to having many lamps. So we're going to start testing those, seeing which ones work, which ones don't work, putting bulbs in the ones that work. We are about done. Honestly, we're about done. With the lights all checked and a couple of them hung up where they're going to go, it's time to haul out this big hover. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know how you say it. It worked at one point, but I am also not 100% sure it's going to work right now. So I do have one little LED bulb that I know that works. So we're gonna test it, see if it works. Okay, so I think we can safely say that the problem is in actually this little ceramic light holder here. So a little rewiring, and maybe actually we will have that one working. We'll see. All right, we're 0 for 2. It's a good thing we're setting this up today and not when the chicks come. I think in both of these cases, the little ceramic light holders are bad. I noticed as I was screwing this one in, let me unplug it here so we're not electrifying anything. As I was screwing this one in, the piece that the bulb screws into, that's the technical term, it was movie. That is also the technical term. So we're gonna run to the farm store at some point. We're gonna get 2 of these light holders, and then I think it'll work. Everything else I think is good to go on it. Those just need to be replaced. Well, this winter sure has been fun. I kind of wish it would be snowing right now instead of raining right now. That would make things a lot nicer. Instead, we're just gonna make some mud to go along with the snow that we do have. Eventually, and by eventually, I mean really soon, we'll have 325 chicks in there. Oh my, what are we getting ourselves into? Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. We'll come out with part 2 on this whenever the next video is.